Nick Price hasn't been shy about criticizing LIV Golf, but he took it a step further by going after its CEO, Greg Norman. Then again, Price just has a habit of hating on things you wouldn't even expect. He's also made it clear he's not a fan of the Ryder Cup. That stance made a lot of people uncomfortable, especially when he was given big roles in the event. Nick Price has never been one to hold back his opinions, and LIV Golf is no exception. He's been openly critical of the Saudi-backed tour, calling out its CEO, Greg Norman, and questioning the overall quality of the competition. He's also taken issue with players who left the PGA Tour for LIV, saying they shouldn't be bad-mouthing the organization that made them stars in the first place. His strong stance has earned him both fans and critics, with some applauding his honesty and others feeling he's just stirring the pot. But LIV Golf isn't the only thing Price has openly disliked. He's also made it clear that he's not a fan of the Ryder Cup, going so far as to compare it to root canals and hemorrhoids. That's about as blunt as it gets. While some people see his comments as just his personal opinion, others feel they're way too harsh, especially considering how much history and prestige the event carries. Because of statements like these, there's been a bit of a mixed reaction when he's been given big opportunities in the golf world. Take, for example, his appointment to the USGA Executive Committee in 2018. The idea was to bring in someone with a deep understanding of professional golf to help bridge the gap between the USGA and the players. But not everyone was convinced he was the right choice. Some felt that, as both a former player and a current course designer, he might have a conflict of interest. People wondered if his decisions would truly be unbiased, or if his own experiences would influence the direction he took. And that's not the only controversy tied to Price. His work as a golf course designer has also raised some eyebrows. Some of his designs have been criticized for favoring big hitters, making courses less playable for the average golfer. On top of that, there have been concerns about the environmental impact of his projects. One example is Soleta Golf Club in Florida, which faced backlash for its heavy use of irrigation and the potential effect it could have on nearby wetlands. For all the controversy surrounding Price's opinions, one thing that no one can deny is just how impressive his golf career was. Before he became known for his sharp takes on LIV Golf and the Ryder Cup, he was busy making a name for himself on the course, proving he belonged among the best in the world. Price's journey in professional golf began in 1977 on the South African Tour, where he started to build his reputation as a serious competitor. But he didn't stay there for long. He soon moved on to the European Tour, testing his skills against a stronger field. By 1983, he had made the leap to the PGA Tour, officially taking his talents to the biggest stage in golf. During this time, there was also a major change in his personal life. In 1984, Price made the decision to renounce his Zimbabwean citizenship and began playing under a British passport. It would take more than a decade until 1996 for him to regain his dual citizenship, a process that was undoubtedly significant for him. As for his wins, Price wasted little time getting started. His first professional victory came in 1979 at the Aseng TV Challenge Series on the Southern African Tour. A year later, he proved he could win outside of South Africa, taking home the title at the 1980 Swiss Open on the European Tour. While those wins helped establish him as a rising star, it wasn't until the 1982 Open Championship that he truly grabbed the world's attention. Heading into the final stretch of that tournament, Price found himself leading by 3 shots with just 6 holes to play. It looked like he was on the verge of a breakthrough major win, but golf can be unforgiving, and things didn't go his way down the stretch. He ended up tied for second alongside Peter Oosterhuis, finishing just 1 shot behind Tom Watson, who walked away with the claret jug. While falling short was undoubtedly heartbreaking, it also showed that Price had what it took to compete with the very best. That same year, he continued his dominance in South Africa, winning the Sunshine Tour Order of Merit for the 1982/83 season. In 1983, Price grabbed his first PGA Tour victory in a big way. He won the World Series of Golf in dominant fashion, leading from start to finish and beating none other than Jack Nicklaus by 4 strokes. At just 26 years old, it seemed like Price was destined for a rapid rise to the top. But golf is unpredictable, and what followed was an unexpected dry spell. Despite showing flashes of brilliance, Price wouldn't win another PGA Tour event for nearly 8 years. Even though wins were hard to come by, he still found ways to remind the golf world of his talent. One of his most memorable performances came at the 1986 Masters, when he shot an incredible 63 at Augusta National, setting a course record. At the time, it was the lowest single-round score ever recorded at the prestigious tournament. Then, in 1988, he came heartbreakingly close to winning his first major, finishing second at the Open Championship behind Seve Ballesteros. By the early 1990s, though, Price had finally turned his game around and was entering his prime. By the mid-90s, he was widely considered the best golfer in the world. His breakthrough major win came at the 1992 PGA Championship, and he didn't stop there. In 1994, he dominated the golf world, winning 2 majors back-to-back, the Open Championship and the PGA Championship. Those victories cemented his legacy and proved that he was not just a great player, but an all-time great. Price's dominance in the mid-90s wasn't just about winning majors. In both 1993 and 1994, he topped the PGA Tour money list, setting new earnings records in each of those years. He also spent an incredible 43 weeks as the #1 golfer in the official World Golf Rankings, further proving that he was the best in the game at that time. His success wasn't limited to the PGA Tour. Price played all over the world and continued to rack up accolades. He was so consistent that he would have won the Southern African Tour's Order of Merit in 1996-97 if he had played the minimum number of required tournaments. He also won the prestigious Varden Trophy in 1993 and 1997, an award given to the PGA Tour player with the lowest adjusted scoring average. One of the things that made Price so great was his incredible ball striking ability. Along with his good friend and fellow golf legend Greg Norman, he was known as one of the purest strikers of the golf ball during his era. His precision and consistency made him a threat on any course, and it's one of the reasons he was able to stay at the top for so long. Even though Price continued to play professionally well into his later years, he eventually began focusing on other ventures. He expanded into golf course design, founding his own company based in Florida. His experience as one of the best ball strikers of his generation gave him a unique perspective on course layouts, and his designs have been both praised and criticized. Some of his courses have been called out for favoring long hitters, making it difficult for shorter hitters to compete. Others have raised environmental concerns, like the Soleta Golf Club in Florida, which was criticized for its heavy irrigation and potential impact on nearby wetlands. Outside of course design, Price also launched his own line of signature golf apparel, further expanding his brand beyond just playing the game. Despite his controversial opinions, he has always been one of the most personable and well-liked players on tour. And that wraps up today's video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to hit that like button, and while you're at it, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any future content. Oh, and drop a comment below. We'd love to hear your thoughts.